Welcome back to Teresa's Dead. My name is Teresa and I'm very much alive. I have an awful garbage filthy mouth, so viewer discretion is advised. But if you're not into that or weird shit in general, this is definitely not the place for you. Feel free to exit out the video here. No harm, no foul, but I'll remember our time fondly. Why, hello, my little babies. Honestly, I didn't think I would be here, but what can I say? Tara Lynn forces me to buy things that initially I know I don't want. And even though the core of my body rejects it, that woman will make me buy literally anything. Also, I love a good deal. And what am I talking about? Well, we're talking about the Rose Quartz palette from Huda Beauty. I recently picked this up during the Sephora sales event and I regret nothing. Yes, I'm a clown. Yes, I own it. That said, if you've been living under a fucking rock, let me tell you a little bit about this palette. Rose Quartz retails for $67. A palette that allows you to play with and create magnetic makeup looks, offering 18 rosy tints and earthy shades across 5 different textures. This powerful palette includes 8 velvety soft pigmented mattes, 3 high shine buttery metallics, 3 pearly soft shine metallics, 3 quartz inspired multi shimmer marble creams, and 1 pearly gloss hybrid. The shades blend true to color and were designed to look vibrant and stunning on everyone. Okay, so for $67, what exactly do you get? This beautifully yet simply designed palette that screams vlogger girl aesthetic. It almost makes me want to put a faux marble skin on my laptop and make a 20-minute non-disclosed ad about how I like to make my salads, but like healthier. Make sure you chop those french fries on the top of it. Anyway, you get this wonderful full-size mirror and your 18 pan color story and 5 different finishes when you open the palette up. In today's video, I'm gonna break it down by finish, but I'm really just gonna classify them as mattes, shimmers, and that weird alien goo. And the reason for that is because I pretty much had the same experience across the board. And I'll just cut to the chase. They're fucking fabulous. So let's start with the mattes in this palette. You get 8 beautifully buttery mattes that are incredibly pigmented and so incredibly easy to use. I didn't experience any fallout between the shades, and the longevity is absolutely perfect. The mattes are incredibly easy to blend, and you can create beautiful gradients with ease without experiencing any patchiness or muddiness. The darker matte in this palette does provide for excellent dimension, and that is Mantra, which is this one down here. However, if I'm gonna be a stickler, which I love to be, I wish there was another darker matte shade, only because a bitch loves her options. It's so funny because in the past, I remember having such issues with Huda's formula, and I always experienced some sort of patchiness and fading or just longevity issues. But these mattes are perfect in every fucking way possible. I wouldn't change a goddamn thing other than having another darker matte in the palette. But still then, I'm not that upset about it. Now, when it comes to the shimmers, when I tell you this brand stepped their pussy up, they stepped their pussy up. They are fabulous. The 7 shimmers, whether it's a marble texture or duochrome or just a straight up metallic, are so buttery and incredibly smooth and just beautifully pigmented. There's only one shade that required to be built up, and it's the shade Joy over here. Yeah, it's just a lighter shade, but once built up, it's really, really beautiful, but you just kind of have to build it up a little bit. But again, not the end of the world. And I do love that it has like a nice like duochrome-ish effect. It's so pretty. Now the high shine in some of these is fucking breathtaking. The fallout is very minimal, with the exception of the shade Empowered. This one is Chunk City. But on the bright side, it was very, very easy to clean up, and I didn't experience too much glitter bukkake, which is pretty surprising because some of these shades are just really high shine, sparkly, and I really thought Tinkerbell would shit all over my face, but that did not happen. Pleasantly fucking surprised. They adhered nicely with a saturated brush and some glitter glue. And even when fingering myself, it was a fucking hoot. I loved everything about them. What I also love about them too is that they're the kind of shadows where you can layer to make beautiful gradients. And you don't have to worry about turning your eyeball into a stone goblin's ball sack because there's no texture. The longevity is absolutely fabulous. Everything stays into place, so you don't have to even worry about things just falling or crumpling throughout the day, ultimately getting into your eye and stinging your eyeball to death. You don't have to worry about anything like that. I have worn some of these shades for more than 12 hours and it looked perfect. Like I don't know what is in this formula, but it's amazing. And I just wish other palettes were like this, but they're not, and it's so good. It kind of gets to the point where, you know, it's the end of the day and I don't want to take my makeup off because that's how much I like it. Between this and actually the Lisa Eldridge foundation, the combination of the two just makes me never want to wash my face again. I know. I know. The duochromes in this palette too are fabulous. Are they the most unique color? No. They're just so beautifully metallic, and to me that's what makes them special. I swear to God, I don't know what I'm even saying right now. If you were to tell me that in 2021, I would be making a video where I'm literally eating Huda Beauty's ass out like I am at the fucking Golden Corral, I would laugh in your face and continue to do drugs. And that is for the 4 people who have seen that late night commercial and know what I'm referencing. If you know, you know. Okay, so let's talk about the T-Virus shade in this palette, and that's Love Stone. Listen, I talked a lot of shit about this particular type of shadow. It's a weird shade. It looks like crushed up bugs. I feel like if I keep touching it, I will become it. You know what I mean? Swatch wise, it's pretty cool. It actually kind of took my breath away and I was kind of surprised by it. Yes, it just feels like a really kind of gross, weird texture, but I didn't hate it. However, on the eye, it kind of reminds me of like the Danessa Myricks gel shades in her palette, except this one just feels thicker and probably not as opaque as the Danessa Myricks shadows. This formula in the Huda palette it's thick, like thick with 2 C's. Like it looks fucking cool, but then you kind of look like a melted candle at the same time. Keep in mind, I have hooded eyes, so shades like this are just not gonna work for me because they just crease. No matter what I put down, they're just gonna crease and it's just gonna look like a hot fucking mess. So for me, there's only 2 ways that I can use this shade. One, I can just slap it on my eyes, use it for about 10 minutes, take about 100 thirst trap photos, or I could try to use this as a base. But when you're using it as a base, you're gonna cover it up, right? So it kind of works, but then it kind of doesn't, because at the same time, it does crease, right? So I feel like my shadow creases more than it would if I didn't use it at all. So there's something with this shadow that just, I don't know, like, doesn't really do too much for me. So I think out of this whole palette, right, this is the only shade that I just kind of feel like, I could have dealt without. But based on my experience with the other 17 shadows, I could easily just fucking overlook it because that's how much fun I'm having with this palette. I have to say that I'm just so pleasantly surprised with this. T-Virus aside, there hasn't been a lot of palettes that have wowed me this year. And this one has, and I don't know what the fuck I'm saying. I don't have a bad thing to say about this palette. It's an absolute shame because other palettes from this brand, they're not that good. I've tried many palettes and they all suck ass. And because of that, I never understood the hype around this brand because every palette that I did purchase, I wound up decluttering. I was like, why does everybody love this brand? And it wasn't until this palette. This I can get behind. The others, not so much. So in a way, I don't know if this is a one-off. Kind of like the Dominique Cosmetics Latte palette. I swear to God, anything else I've tried from that brand, it has never lived up to the potential that is the Latte palette. I don't know why, it just hasn't. So I'm kind of curious if my feelings are going to change in the future when Huda Beauty releases more palettes. That is, if they ever stop making the same palette over and over again. And honestly, that's probably my biggest complaint. Or really my only complaint, because even the T-Virus shade I can kind of look past. This palette is absolutely beautiful, but I feel like this is kind of like the 4th iteration of this color story. But in that same breath, every palette that has led up to this palette has sucked ass. So maybe it's not so bad after all. So if my logic is correct, the next palette she releases will be different. Then I'm gonna have to wait 3 more releases for me to like it. Unless this is the palette that has broke the curse. And now Huda's finally free to make actually good quality stuff. I don't know, but I'm here for the fucking ride. Is this worth the money? Is it worth $67? Abso-fucking-lutely. However, saving 20%, and that was a bonus. But I would have been delighted had I paid for this full price because I feel like I got my money's worth in quality alone. So now I want to hear from y'all. Let me know down below how you feel about this palette. If you picked it up, if you didn't pick it up, if you might pick it up, let me know because I love hearing from you. And with that said, I want to say thank you so much for watching. I truly appreciate it as always. Feel free to like, comment, hit that subscribe button, it's free, and hit that bell icon for notification of all my future posts. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Patreon, to all my beautiful, wonderful patron bubbies. Thank you so much for keeping this delicious, disgusting, filthy, trashy, really gross, really filthy, really nasty garbage boat afloat. I couldn't do without you. I love your adorable little delicious faces, and basically I just want to gobble you all up during this long stretch DEADMAS. If you want to know what is currently on my face, along with where to get this baby, everything will be listed in the description box below. I'll see you little cherry jubilees later. Bye.